Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. In one of my previous videos, I spoke about 7 different ways that you can beat the lockdown. One of those topics was spirituality. So I have no idea how many people will actually like this topic. Spirituality, especially for those people who have working lives, who interact with a lot of people, who have social lives, who have things to achieve. So don't think spirituality is something I'll resort to once I retire, because you may not even need it then, because once you retire, you don't face very stressful situations because the expectations from you have gone down. If you are concerned more with the spirit and the soul rather than the physical material world, that is the state of being spiritual. If we can somehow pull our consciousness back into the spiritual side, then to a large extent we'll be able to solve our stresses and the various tensions that we go through in our lives, the worries. Just try and count how many times in the last, let's say, a period of 1 week, you got angry, you shouted at someone, or you felt very low, depressed, or you felt very helpless. Any of those negative things, if you did feel this oftentimes in the last 1 week, then your spiritual quotient is not very high. You need to work on it. They say that this world is like a forest full of thorns, and it's not possible for us to remove all the thorns in this world. So what do? We wear nice thick padded shoes so those thorns don't trouble us. And those thick soled shoes that I am referring to is nothing but a spiritual thought. So if you have this thick soul, S-O-U-L and S-O-L-E, then you will be able to manage the problems in this world much more easily. But how fast do we emerge out of it? What is the resilience? Does it take me days? Does it take me hours? Does it take me minutes, seconds? So the faster you can come out of these feelings, the more spiritual you are. There's an old shloka which says that the biggest reason for negative emotions is our own mind. Given the same circumstances, sometimes it may not matter to you at all, sometimes it will matter to you a lot, depending on your mental makeup at that point. So what is the mental makeup made up of? If you break it down, because what dopamine does is, it motivates you to take action towards your goals. If you don't feel like taking any action, if you're procrastinating, if you're dilly-dallying, that means your dopamine is low. So what is the best way to increase the level of dopamine in your body? Best way is to set small goals for yourself and achieve them. For example, you set a goal for yourself today that I'm not going to have any sugary treat. Or you set a goal that today I'm going to walk 5,000 steps, 10,000 steps. Like I'll wake up early today, I'll sleep early today, etc. etc. So there's a caveat to this. When you are setting goals, make sure you set goals for yourself and not for others. I'll give you an example. You may have a friend who doesn't talk to you nicely, and you set a goal that my friend will talk to me nicely. Now that is not a goal which is in your hands. You feel that your goal has not been met, and again your dopamine level falls. So always set a goal for yourself and not for circumstances and not for other people, because that is bound to fail. If you have serotonin in your body, your self-worth will be high. And depressive people have a very low self-esteem. One of the best ways to increase your serotonin, get a good amount of sunlight and think of your past achievements, things that you achieved in the past. That is the best way to increase your serotonin. Now, one mistake that we might do when we are thinking of our past achievements, we might start thinking of our past failures. Don't fall into the trap of thinking of the bad times that might have happened in your life. So oxytocin, also known as the cuddle hormone, is the same hormone that a mother secretes when she's just given birth. The feeling of love for the newborn is because of the levels of oxytocin in the body, or the cuddle hormone. So one of the best ways to increase your cuddle hormone or increase your oxytocin is to give a hug or get a hug. So if you can't give a physical hug to somebody that you really want to, give a mental hug. It's equally good and equally effective. Or you could also work on your personal relationships. So if you feel like cuddly, it could be your brother, sister, kid, mother, father, spouse, anybody. So one mistake that you might make when you are trying to raise your oxytocin level, the cuddle hormone, is that you might tend to go beyond just cuddling. Endorphins are the second wind hormones, right? When somebody is running, jogging, after a certain point, you don't feel tiredness anymore. So one of the best ways to raise your endorphin level is to work out, exercise. So if you work out 3, 4, 5 times a week to a level where you break into a sweat, or if you walk at least 30 minutes, then your endorphin level will be high. Make sure that you don't work too hard so that your stress hormones start going up, your cortisol and adrenaline. That is the reason I made a video on HIIT, which is high intensity interval training. The physical form of yoga, the yoga exercises, are very good form of doing non-cortisol and non-adrenaline workouts. You can work to balance these four hormones. You'll find that you are naturally happy from inside. Depressive thoughts, worry or stress will go down automatically and you'll feel a natural happy high. If there was a method to increase all these different hormones to an optimal level automatically without you working on it separately, would you try that method? It's called meditation. So what exactly is meditation? Our brain gives out certain waves which can be measured using an EEG. Like you measure your heartbeat, you measure your pulse. So if your brain waves are between 1 to 3 hertz, means the cycle is 1 to 3 times a second, that means you're in delta state. So delta brainwave state is when you are in deep sleep. The next is if your brain wave is between 4 to 7 hertz, then this is known as the theta brainwave state. This is the meditative state. So you're not sleeping, you're not in deep sleep, and you're not awake, somewhere in the middle. So that's a theta brainwave state. In fact, there's a whole science of theta healing. So I'm a certified theta healer. This is my certificate. So I heal people as a hobby. So then we have the alpha brainwave state, which is from 8 to 12 hertz. So in this brainwave state, you're in a relaxed state. You're not in meditative state, but you're not in very aware state. You're somewhere in the middle. And then there is the beta brainwave state. We all normally are in the beta brainwave state when you're alert of your surroundings, when you are talking, interacting, walking, driving, etc. etc. So beta brainwave state is between 13 to 38 hertz. And then there is a gamma state which is from 39 hertz and above. We are mainly going to concentrate on the theta brainwave state. If I can somehow take you to theta brainwave state, you're in meditation. And when you are in theta brainwave state, all your happy hormones that I spoke about earlier, your serotonin, your dopamine, oxytocin and your endorphin, they're all going to get a boost and you're going to be happy. So how do you get there? What is the best way to get there? There are so many meditative methods, right? There are like tons and tons of people teaching you all kinds of meditation methods and all that. But in my discovery, the easiest meditation method is cyclic meditation or yoga nidra, we call it. We concentrate on one thing progressively. For example, if you're talking about a body, you'll concentrate on your first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, etc. etc. Go all the way to all parts of the body. But it's easier to concentrate progressively on different parts. So I've left a few links in the description. You can check out various Yoga Nidra audios and videos.
So relax the soles of your feet, the tops of your feet, both legs, both hips.
I've tried to explain what meditation is and how you can meditate. So the next thing you have to do is make it a point that you spend at least 5 to 10 minutes meditating every day. It brings about a very positive change in your life. You'll feel much relaxed. You'll feel that your bouts of anger, anxiety, stress are not that frequent. And even if they are there, you recover much faster. So you try and do this, and I'll love it if you subscribe. And please watch my other videos. You have a good day. Bye-bye.